Hi Kiwi! Alright, we are back with one more episode of Lotus Lantern. I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully get a win on the highest difficulty, which is almost guaranteed not to work, but let's see what happens. Diligence is key in cultivating techniques, and your belief must be unwavering. Chen Shang, your road is still long, but I will support you always. Alright. So we're gonna go with the clone blade this time, because that seems like the best option for a hit and run sort of technique. Several clones follow behind. Yep. You know, I guess... Ooh, I have... Since I'm going this route anyway, what if I... Can I unlock this? Yeah, okay, +1 duplicate. That'll help. The required stacks to trigger critical passive are halved. Interesting. I should probably look at these upgraded versions. But... That doesn't really matter. So, we have one extra clone, which means, yeah, effectively, I should be able to hit and run a bit more effectively. Alright, Kiwi. I'm going to regret this, sincerely. But let's give it our best shot. Alright. If you're looking at the video length right now, you're cheating. Don't look at the video, just trust that I can do this, and don't look at the fact that it probably took, or I'm at like half an hour in, or the video is half an hour long and then it's over. Because we all know how this is going to go, but imagine if it went better than that. Actually, I attack so fast, I stagger them. This actually has a real possibility of happening. Let's see what happens. Technique manual to start. What do we get? The last clone in the queue will always land a crit. Well, that's exactly what we needed anyway, so nice. Alright, these are all Nua's blessing, so... Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. Hopefully it's Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning would be great. Alright, I'm going to stick to the strategy I came up with before, where we prioritize the ranged enemies and then kill the chargers after that. Although you don't look like a charger. I'm not sure what you are, but you don't seem to be that much of a threat. Yeah, charging enemies seem to be the biggest threat, but the fact that I can attack so fast means that I'm not really likely to get hit here, it seems. Touch of Incineration. On normal attack, 75% chance to generate 1 stack of flame. Okay. Well, the game is being quite nice in giving me the highest rarity of these, and flame seems to do a lot of damage, so heck yeah, technique manual. We'll probably get some lousy options soon enough, but until we do, it'll be nice to get what we can. Or the game is being quite nice in what it's giving to us thus far. That's what I'm trying to say, I think. Get rid of this projectiles user. Honestly, because of all the flame stacks, I do a lot of damage already. Looks like we're getting a relatively strong start, but here's where it goes wrong, right? No. When triggering a critical hit, the cooldown of momentary void break... What the heck? The game is like handing us this run on a silver plate. I think... slowing down enemies would be very helpful, but I think we've already got a flame passive. Let's keep going with fire damage. Let's go all in and hope we can get the HP up, because if I get the HP up after stacking a bunch of fire, this will make things a lot easier. Oop, well, there goes a third of our health already. Not great. That's my fault for not dodging, though. But we have a lot of damage, which is going to make the early parts of this run a lot more doable. Would you kindly stop throwing things at me? It's very rude. Alright. We'll definitely need to find a way of getting some sustainability. When the technique skill is cast, generate 4 meteors. Pretty solid ability when you're DPSing like this. And excellent, more fire. Okay. All we need is to stack damage and stack... What's the other thing I need to stack? My technique does a lot of damage. Wow. We just need to stack some crit chance to the point of having 100% crit chance, but what we really need is survivability. Okay, I pressed my technique button, but it didn't go off. Unfortunate. I'm taking a lot of damage. But this feels salvageable if I can find an HP room. I doubt they're going to give me an HP room because they seem pretty rare, admittedly. I may be at the point where I just have to stick to the hit and run technique, but even that punished me there, so maybe not. Oh my goodness, I am throwing so hard. Well, I think this run is probably going to end sooner than anticipated, which is unfortunate, but not a significant surprise. Well, let's see what we get. Hopefully something that'll let me, every 16 seconds, deal 1 hit of fire meteor to all enemies. Okay, that's nice. It's not terribly strong. Shop unknown. So they don't really make this hard to guess what things are. I think we take the money because I need money to afford a healing item. I'm going to have to beat the mid-boss without taking any damage. And that's assuming I even get to her. This room is likely going to kill me. Oh well. 5 minutes. Looks like you've got a long way to go on your cultivation, Chen Zhang. You may want to spend more time practicing to avoid embarrassing yourself. Yeah, I definitely just embarrassed myself, but that felt strong for a brief moment. It's just everything kills me very quickly. Oh well, I guess I just need to learn the enemy patterns. Even Wukong doesn't have anything to say. He's gotten tired of my failures. Oh well. We'll try again in a little bit. Alright, we're going to try the higher difficulty run 1 or 2 more times, since they seem to go pretty poorly pretty quickly. Just going to buy more passives while I'm here. May as well get the free 60% more damage. That'll make things easier, and we'll take cooldown reduction the rest of the way. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what this next run brings. We have no new dialogue in this room. My plan is I'm going to keep going with Mirage Blade for now, because I feel, or Phantom Slash, because I feel like that was my strongest build for this kind of difficulty. And then if things continue to go poorly, I'll switch into a lower difficulty and just try this one, because for some reason I feel like I'm in the mood for a projectile-based build. But here we go, one more run at maximum. I don't know what the metric for this is called, so I'm just going to call it max heat as the analogy to Hades. Here we go. Alright, this is apparently my 10th run in the game as a whole, so that's kind of cool to know. Alright, technique manual, what do we got? The last clone in the attack will always land a crit. That's probably the best passive we could have hoped for to start with. And honestly, I think going ice for the slow and freeze effects will probably make this run a lot safer. So maybe I go with that. Ice and fire. Fire for HP and ice for the defensive potential. I think that's the route I'm going to take for now. I don't know how ice scales in terms of damage, but right now we need safety more than anything, I would argue. So we'll just stick to using our abilities where possible, take out the projectile artists when they get in the way, and hope that we have a chance at getting past the first stage at the very... If I can get past the first stage, I'll call that a victory, honestly, because we've barely made it past, like, the halfway point. I think we made it to the mid-boss on the last attempt. It's been... Alright, on normal attack, 35% chance to generate a stack of freeze. Perfect. If we can get the ability that passively makes our clones also get the on-hit passives, that should give us a pretty reasonable fighting chance. But anyway, it's been a little bit of time since my last run. I finally started working again, and I am genuinely exhausted. I drove, I think, almost 200 miles yesterday, and upon returning home, darn it. Okay, I was hopeful that the freeze would cancel their attack, but their attack keeps going once they unfreeze. That's a little bit of a problem. I'll have to keep that in mind. Resonance. Momentary Void Break skill releases an additional powerful attack. Perfect. So now, as long as I have 4 clones, which I have pretty much guaranteed... Alright, that seems pretty strong. We should be able to get the extra hit, the extra damage on our special attack now. Awesome. I don't think I have the passive that generates more clones yet, so that's... We'll need to find a way to increase our clone count. That's really what this build is currently missing. But yeah, I was absolutely right. Being able to spam freeze is really important here, and it's probably going to make a very big difference in the safety of this build. That said, I still have to play pretty carefully, and if I can't hit stun an enemy, I have to be ready to take the hits, or I have to be very dodge happy. But that's the advantage of this build. It allows me to dodge but still land attacks while dodging. When triggering a critical hit, the cooldown of momentary void break is reduced. Perfect. We're getting really good technique manuals right off the start. All right, let's go for an artifact and hopefully get our shield. If we can get our shield that significantly increases our survivability. Ah, shoot! I thought that wolf wouldn't be able to hit me. Unfortunate. All right. I was able to take the projectile out, and all the wolves, actually. I'm kind of surprised by that. But anyway, so yeah, I've started working again, and so my video production is going to go down substantially in terms of how fast I can produce them. As it is, I generate about 1 video a day. For the shorter videos, it's sometimes 2 or 3, but usually it's at most 1, and I spend the rest of the day doing errands or work or sometimes editing, because I am working on some side projects that are way more editing time consuming. Like the current project I'm working on is like a 90-minute video, or sorry, a 90-second video, but it's taken over 3 days just to get going. There we are, our barrier right away. All right, that gives our run a pretty solid chance. Engraving or blessing? These engravings can... I'm gonna go for the engraving on the off chance it can give me the stacking HP passive. Let's see. Upon entering a room, 10% martial arts, energy restores, or 5% damage reduction with a larger head. I think we take the passive energy because that'll make it easier to generate our shield reliably. Okay. And there's no conditional on that ability, which makes it very strong. See, like I wouldn't have been able to start this fight with the shield if I had gotten that, so this is great. Plus, I'm fighting a boss that kind of teleports around, so now I have a way of, like, as I'm running around waiting to be able to hit the boss, I'm generating energy to be able to use my shield, which is fantastic. And even though I've barely hit this boss, which would normally be how I generate my energy, wow, it's fast, though. It's alarmingly fast. I think pretty much my best chance to hit it is after its first dash, because it goes invulnerable after its second. I could also try attacking places it's prone to teleporting to and see if that works. But it almost seems less tanky in a way, though. But it seems pretty reliable that we can get our shield back up before it even has a chance to hit us. Which is great, because we need that. We need survivability against this boss. There is very little opportunity to hit it, though. Except for the moments like that, which feel fairly rare. I feel like my special attack is probably going to be the bulk of my opportunities to damage it, honestly. But very doable boss. As long as I spam dash when I know its attacks are coming, it's pretty easy to dodge. And where it's not, I have my shield. That was a nice, solid, chunky crit. And yeah, I'm really really able to keep my shield up, which is great. Gives me a fighting. The shield in this game is objectively the best artifact in terms of survivability, especially at the higher heats. We'll probably... I did promise I would stop using it so much, but I think it's appropriate to use it when you're trying the highest difficulty in this game. I wonder if you get anything special, like permanent, if you beat the highest heat. So far, I know the currency you get for beating heat is... I think it lets you unlock some of the stronger artifacts, it seems. Although I really don't have a good frame of reference for how strong those artifacts are. But I think we'll get to experiment with it soon enough and find out. Assuming I'm able to do this, you know. Anyway, as far as work goes, so... right now, my work will require me to drive a lot of long distances, so yesterday I drove a good... almost 200 miles over the course of about 4 hours, I think. 4 to 5 hours. Oops. Could have just dashed, but I decided to try and dodge it by walking, not sure why. Anyway, so yeah, I drove a lot, and then I worked an 8-hour shift, I think it was. Let's see, I started at 11 and left at 8, so it was a 9-hour shift. So yeah, it was a very long day. I was exhausted. Started off the morning by doing some dishes, so I didn't leave the house completely a mess. Kiwi and I love to cook, and it often leads to us making a lot of dishes in a very short span of time. So, I'm not perfect. Kiwi is definitely usually in charge of dishes because I have a bad back, and the position that I'm required to stand in for doing dishes is extremely... after a bit of time, can be extremely painful. So I usually do things where my back doesn't have to be in that position. I do the cat litters, I do laundry, I do stuff like that. And Kiwi's usually in charge of dishes, although I have promised to take at least... there are certain days where she does chores that I much rather not do, and I'll deal with the back pain over doing them. So, Kiwi isn't exclusively dish doer. It's just usually that's what she does. And I do other household chores in the meantime. I can probably afford to spend some energy and use my fireball attack. And since it automatically homes, it should be pretty reliable to hit. But I think we've got this boss. I think we've got him. Yeah, there we are. Nice. All right, artifact and passive. Let's see. Thunder God's Hammer. Invoke the Thunder God's Hammer, summoning multiple lightning bolts to strike surrounding enemies. When the character dashes through enemies, it triggers lightning strike. I did want to try this. Let's switch this out and see what it's like, because I can always get that artifact back if I really want to. And then I think for now, we need survivability more than anything else. Because as we prove with that boss, as long as I survive long enough, I can still kill it. I guess it's a matter of those who survive the longest win the fight, sort of thing. Alright, we'll go for a fire passive here, hoping for the HP per fire passive upgrade. I think I can handle Tiger Monster okay. I should remember to use my dash, though. I just let myself get a free hit, or my shield, rather. Now, if I recall, what got me a lot in the previous attempts was... I don't like that the... what got me a lot in the previous attempts was the guys who dash. I'm not a fan of how the lightning hammer attack... artifact that I've got. I've used it twice now, but it has like no sound effect at all. Here, I'll use it again. Like, it just drops lightning. The damage is okay, but not amazing. It's not a single target hit, though. I wonder if its damage does a lot more against single targets because it's all concentrated. That seems to be usually how it goes in this game. If you have a multi-target attack, it will target one target if it's able to. But we'll see. We will see. Right now, all I know is I need to stack HP and survivability. Every 6 seconds, one hit of fire meteor attacks all enemies on the field with flame. Okay. Not an amazing passive, but we'll take it. Now, I'm reeling one potential huge detriment that I have the risk of facing is if I get a different elemental blessing that will remove my freeze passive. I feel like that could be super risky if that does happen. We're gonna go for the plate beat, I think. Pardon me. That 9-hour shift involved a lot of talking, so I needed. My throat is a little bit not sore, but definitely my voice box is a tad tired, if you will. I'll do my best not to clear my throat into the microphone where I can, but I am alarmingly phlegmy, unfortunately. Alright, I wanted to test out this artifact on a single target and see what happens. Let's get rid of this ranged character first. And, yeah. Here, we'll kill this. And now let's see what happens if I do that. Alright, yeah, I think that's pretty solid damage if it's on a single target, so it'll be good against bosses at the very least. So maybe what I do for Tiger Monster is I just run around and dodge all his attacks and then focus on dropping lightning. Well, you know what? That might not work because he summons allies, and those allies were actually a huge problem the last time I fought him. At least this time I have the shield and a way to regenerate it pretty reliably. And as trash mobs, as annoying as they are, I can pretty reliably generate stacks of energy against them by hitting them. It seems that if an enemy has a shield, they don't get staggered as easily, which is good to know. Alright, what do we get? 1 Thunder Surge, 25% chance of burning upon room. We're going to take the HP up. It's not a huge amount, but it matters. It definitely matters. Alright, Destiny Plate Bead, Nua Blessing, Artifact. We'll go for the Blessing. As long as we have our shield, that's really the only artifact I need for this run. If I could get more, that would be amazing, but I don't, like, have to go super out of my way when there's a potentially better offering. I knew you were going to start dropping bombs, so we're going to take this one out first, and then we'll go back to the slower single projectile, although it looks like I already took it out, which is awesome. Alright, all projectiles have been removed, so let's focus on killing these guys. Take out the Dasher first. I'm not a fan that I can't really see them under the trees. That does make this more difficult to deal with. I'll just do this. I'll drop some lightning. It really bothers me that that does not have a sound effect. Anyway, so that's the story. I'm going back to work, and that means my time for videocraft will be reduced. I have a pretty fair surplus of videos with the intent, knowing full well that that would be the case, and I'm hopeful that will allow me to maintain the once daily uploads for a while, but I only have so much time. I have only so much. I think I've got about 2 weeks ahead on the videos. So I need to finish. At the time of recording this video, I have completed Celeste, but I have a bunch of editing that I want to do for the last episode. The last couple episodes, really. So that's why they haven't been uploaded yet. And then the Space for the Unbound, I'm in this awkward situation where I'm basically replaying the whole game so that I can see the secret cutscene at the end that you only get if you complete a very specific set of what are they called? Achievements that I unfortunately missed without realizing. Blessing of Wind. Accumulate energy every 1 grid, and the character has a 50% chance to significantly increase their attack speed for a certain duration. That sounds pretty nice, actually. I'll take that gladly. And a technique manual? Heck yeah. Alright, we're just going to keep stacking passives and see where it takes us. Took out that projectile fellow really quick with the special attack. Excellent. It does feel like very quickly my damage will fall off if I don't get some more damage, or some more damaging passives, but the crits are... The damage on this build adds up very quickly if you can manage to get all of your clones to hit. If you can't, it's a bit more of a problem. Alright, we'll take out this. I got hit by that twice, I think. The nice thing about this build is once you get the hits going, you're basically stagger locking an enemy without a shield pretty reliably. And I think it was my crits make it so that I have a chance of reducing the cooldown of my special attack, which I need to spam as much as possible. It genuinely does a lot of damage, and I'm not using it nearly to its full power, to its full capability. Anyway, I'm still going to choose not to really talk about what my vocation is, just because, let's see, presence of 1 duplicate on the field provides character with damage reduction. Excellent. We need that for this kind of a run. And then Divine Sensibility, Spirit Element Unknown, or Destiny Bead. We'll take the Plate Bead. We need to go for anything that gives us more damage or more survivability. And those currencies don't do that. I guess the currency, I could argue, does, since it allows us to buy another Blessing or Technique Manual before the boss fight. But it doesn't... Maybe I should view it that way. It also lets me buy a HP... or a heal right before the boss fight, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try and focus and finish a sentence. I'm still not going to really talk about what the nature of my vocation is, because I don't want to really bring that here. For personal reasons, sometimes that topic can be kind of stressful to both myself and Kiwi. So we'll limit the talking about work for now. But it is a job I like. It's just it's complicated in its nature, I guess is the best way to say it. And of course, it requires me to spend time away from Kiwi physically, so there's always that feeling of kind of loneliness, I suppose. Anyway, but with all that said, what can I talk about that isn't work-related? How about I go back to my conversation about... I was talking about webtoons and manhwa that I've read recently that I liked. I guess, what was my first webtoon? So, my undergraduate college... One second. Let's see. All attack and speed. Evasion 4%. I don't know. A 4% chance not to take damage sounds nice, but I think it's not terribly reliable. And let's take the evasion. Let's see what it does. But anyway, so my undergrad had like this celebration of webtoons at one of its fancier buildings one day, and I walked in, and that's where I first discovered the concept of, oh wow, that's expensive. I didn't realize it was so expensive. Oh well, we'll just have to take the recovery for now. A shame we can't get the technique manual, but now I know that maybe the divine or the elemental spirit stones are worth taking. So, alright, what have you got to say today, Tiger Monster? How come it's you again? How did you come back without a scratch? What's wrong, scared now? If you're scared, hand over the fisheye stone. I might spare you. My wife won't let me off the hook after this. Take this. Alright, pop our shield immediately, get some good damage in. Whoop. And then I try to spam this, and then he's going to start spinning. I got hit. I'm going to just focus on dodging until I can get a shield. Whoa, that's fast. Sheesh, he moves fast. Alright, we can definitely get good damage off with our passives. And if I focus on actually killing his minions, I can generate energy to get a special, get my special up faster, or use my artifacts more reliably. Whoop. Okay, got my shield back. Yeah, I have to be careful, because if I lose my shield like that, it's hard for me to get it back quickly. Whoa, oh boy. I feel like the Hydra is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with if I'm not careful. All right, let's get some energy generation. Wow, I immediately got hit. That's unfortunate. All right, I can get some energy off of this enemy. Still can't use my shield, but I'm close. All right, I'm going to have to hold on the story about undergrad and webtoons until I can have my brain back a little bit more. Whoa! All right, I've got my defensive now. Oh my god, there are so many enemies. It's very hard to dodge that spinning attack now because it just comes out so fast. Ouch. Oh my goodness, he has spawns. I don't think he has a limit to how many enemies he can spawn, which is a problem. I can't hit them all. Alright, I'm going to try and take out one while I can. Or I guess 3, that was kind of cool. I somehow didn't get hit by that dash, but I got hit by something else. Whoop. Okay, I still got my shield. Oh, hey, I dodged that move. I actually got hit, but the evasion that I got actually paid off there. I missed my special. Oh my goodness, Kiwi, there are so many things. This is actually really difficult. Oh, that third stage boss is going to be a nightmare. I genuinely need to kill these projectile things. Maybe I just need to focus down the boss, honestly. I don't think we're winning this. There are too many things, and I do not have the AoE to kill them without getting hit. Wow, this is genuinely difficult. This got a lot more difficult very quickly. Can we please stop spawning allies? Like, they should make a cap for this. They really should. Oh, wow, that killed me. Alright, I didn't even see my HP. Ooh, that got difficult very fast. Okay, so this might just be a short episode, but what I'll do is in the next one, I'll talk a little bit more about manhwa and webtoons that I've read, and I'm going to play it on a lower difficulty, so it's a much more casual playthrough, and we'll use that projectile build, which I wasn't sold on from the start, but maybe it'll be more fun once I get a chance to really build into it. With all that said, Kiwi, I know this is a shorter one for the weekend, and specifically for Lotus Lantern, but again, I need to be respectful of my time, especially with work picking up. With all that said, though, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're asleep, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.